There are 24 hours in a day for all of us, and that gets divided between work, family, housework, cooking, cleaning, shopping, babysitting, seeing your friends, gardening, reading, and looking after your dog if you have one. So where does the crafting fit in, and how do you make time to do what you want to do?
And if crafting is your business, maybe it's also paying the bills, at least in part. How do you find enough time to get your projects, your printables, your videos all designed, made up, listed, sold and shipped?
With the onslaught of demands on our time at the moment, I increasingly feel that my personal craft time is basically under attack.
Now, I've worked in the finance space for many years. I'm used to pressure and the need to focus to get things done.
Now, several years ago, I made a really big decision to basically change my life. And spending time at my craft desk now is really important to me. So I'm not about to let that go just because the world around us is changing.
I acknowledge that I spend too long scrolling, sometimes procrastinating, telling myself I feel tired, basically not at my desk doing what I love. And I leaned into my skills from my former life as a management consultant, and I came up with some solutions.
So in this video, I'm sharing exactly what I do now. 6 techniques to stop wasting my precious craft time, techniques which I'm absolutely certain will be useful for you too. So let's begin with the biggest hack of all, which is making the very best use of little moments of time.
The 15 minutes here and there between, let's say, fixed commitments, which when added together really do count, but they can get lost if you're not using them to the best effect. Now, I remember at school, I know it was a long time ago, but I worked out that if I used the moments of time when I actually got back home from school, before I ate, before my mum made my tea, I could get so much done, and when added together it had a huge effect on getting through all that homework. Specifically what I do now, I have a list of 15-minute craft ideas ready to go, ready for that small moment. They're all in Google Keep because I can't rely on myself to remember what they are, and it's just really easy to add things to it and maintain it. And over time, I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes. And not only that, sometimes those 15-minute slots are just allowed to run on. You get a bit more time and you get so much done, more than you would have expected. Plus, I find it easier to come back to if the time between craft activity is less. I think it's a bit like exercise. The gym is that much harder the longer you leave between visits. So things you might do is, let's say, stamping on music paper that you can paint later, or maybe gluing pages together for a masterboard. I'd say not the decoration of the masterboard, because that just needs a little bit longer and maybe a bit more thinking. Choose a basic task that doesn't matter if you have to stop halfway through.
Technique number 2, doing things that are productive in the craft room, even if you're tired. I've got 2 hacks to make this easier.
Hack number 1, use the rule of alternating tasks. So if I've been doing a manual task like putting the washing on, or even just making myself a coffee at my coffee station, I will try to do a more detailed and creative craft project after that, because I'm basically flexing a different muscle that hasn't recently been used. On the other hand, if I've been doing spreadsheets or creating clickable links in my free guides, and I've got a new one to share with you today, so watch out for that, I would do something more physical, like maybe sewing a simple snippet. I alternate the type of task that I'm doing, and it definitely makes crafting easier, more fun, and therefore I'm more productive and I waste less time. The second hack to deal with being more tired is a little bit more tough, but it does work. It's simply about building new patterns and habits. It's easy and reasonable to think I am tired, so I just want to sit on the sofa and scroll. At that very moment, grab your thoughts and say to yourself, I'm tired, so I will do X. crafting, whatever that is. I bet you've done it before when you brought up your children. Well, now it's time to do it for yourself. Then build repetition, and by doing so, build belief in yourself that you can and will do this. And that tiredness, you will learn, always leads to you being able to do something craftily productive. You build those habits, and in time, you don't need to think about it. Remember the go on the bike that I talked about in a previous video? This hack is about doing it for yourself.
Technique number 3, give yourself productive time out when you're crafting.
If there are moments at your craft desk when you feel your concentration's wavering, give that creative muscle a break and just vary your craft activities. I have a very specific time out project that I do that recharges my battery simply because it's easy and fun, and at the moment what that is gluing things down on a till roll. For me, what it isn't is things like using a sewing machine or starting something big. So it might be sewing on paper for you, or it could be dyeing papers. That's a really fun activity. The till roll I have on the side of my desk, so it's definitely within reach. And the collage that I do on it is the most simple and super satisfying. So what is your time out project? Leave your suggestions down below.
Technique number 4, be a smarter crafter.
So one of the biggest time and energy wasters for me is when I'm either looking for something specific on YouTube or I'm just looking for inspiration and I just can't find what I want. I've been saving time by using my own process steps, and if you've been over here on my channel before, you might know I've got over 70 of these now, either on Pinterest or more recently on Ko-fi. But I'm also saving time by using my Clickables, and these are free to download documents that allow you to go straight to the clip in a specific video that works best for you in the moment. You can of course go to the beginning of the video. My clickable documents all have a link for the video start as well. But the point that I'm making is be a smart crafter. There is so much content on YouTube now that it can be really hard to find exactly what you want. And you can spend all your time searching and there's just not enough time left to create. So I'm building more of these assets all the time, and today I've added another one. It's for the video called Junk Journal Book Page Pocket Tutorial, which I published several years ago, which brings me to solution number 5.
Solution number 5, revisit some of that content that you already know.
When I was creating the clickable for today's video, I needed to also create process steps because the video preceded me creating process steps, so I just re-engineered those in. And I learned a few things that are very relevant for this time challenge that I'm talking about today. So even though a video might be old, when you re-watch the right ones, they can definitely deliver new insights and inspiration. So they might remind you of the basics, and while that's comfortable, pleasing and often easy, it does create space for your mind to think about doing things in a different way, and I'll bet you've got different supplies now from a few years ago. So having a go at some older tutorials is my latest love, my way of getting more enjoyment with my limited time at my desk.
Technique number 6, reorder what you do in a day.
Now, I know that I've always been a morning person. When it comes to difficult brain work, that's when I need to do it. So now I do any of my detailed creative craft work in a morning whenever I can. I feel at my freshest and most creative, and I get my best ideas. If you looked at your list of tasks, could you reorder them and do maybe housework later in the day if that works for you? Align your crafting for when your mind is at its sharpest. Now, it might need others in your family to support you, but I think it will help.
So ask yourself, can any of these techniques and solutions make a difference to your day? I do most of these most of the time now, and it's working. And if you like this video, you might also enjoy this one here. It's where I share my best tips and tricks for folding journal pages. Thanks very much for watching this video. It's been lovely to chat with you. I hope to see you soon.